What was that? Oh, what did you say? You want to learn about Egypt? Well, that's perfect, because today I'm going to teach you some extra amazing facts about Egypt. First, I've been to Egypt twice, so I'm quite knowledgeable about it. And on a class that I did about travel, I knew more facts than the teacher. So don't worry, I'll be perfect. Now, first, this scarf is from Egypt. It was made with Egyptian cotton, which is the best cotton you can get. Try and get it in every supermarket you go to when you buy clothes. Now, let's learn some very interesting facts about Egypt. Let's stick with the modern facts for now. Then we'll go into the real historical era. The capital of Egypt is called Cairo. It's a very, very busy capital city. So you need to be careful when you're driving because all the drivers go crazy. They've even got their own language of beeping. That's what I called it. You may call it something else. Who knows what? They use Egyptian pounds. If you're from England like me, you use pounds. But they use special ones, which are Egyptian. That's why they're called Egyptian pounds. They've got a big population in Egypt. It's so big you can't imagine. It's not as big as many other countries like Russia or Canada, but still, it's very big. The population in Egypt, as I was about to tell you, someone interrupted me, but I'm back now, is 116.5 million people. In Cairo, there's a big population. I think it's 23 million, but I can't remember. It's so much. They speak Arabic, but in historic times, a long time ago, they would have spoke their own secret language. Maybe you can invent your own. Now, let's go to the River Nile. The River Nile is a very, very, very long river. Sometimes people even call it the Long River. I'll show you a picture of it that I drew. Here's the river. People used to live on the shores of the river because they could grow crops on it, and it was sometimes called life. If there wasn't a River Nile, a lot of people there wouldn't be there, and maybe Egypt wouldn't even exist. Then we wouldn't be able to do all this lovely learning of facts about Egypt. So, every night when you go to bed, say a little prayer to the river to make sure it stays standing and doesn't dry up, for in Egypt it's very hot. Now, from my picture, as you can see, there are lots of trees. The trees are there, and that's the only place where trees would grow in Egypt, because on the desert, how would trees grow there? No water. So, we're very thankful that the river's there for trees to grow and crops. Now, let's think about and look at the pyramids. Now, I drew these pyramids. I couldn't print real ones. This is one of the real pyramids. It's called the Pyramid of Giza. It looks like this now, but a long time ago, all of this was covered in limestone, and the tippy top was gold. Now, in here, there's a tomb. The tomb is where they put the king of Egypt when he dies. The kings in Egypt are called pharaohs. Now, there was built about 100 pyramids were built in Egypt. That's a lot of pyramids. And Egypt isn't the only place where pyramids were made. There was some in Mexico too, but you can learn about that in another episode. So, this little pyramid here, as you can see, has steps. That's why it's called the Step Pyramid. That's probably my favourite. It's so little and steppy. Now, let's learn some more interesting facts. Let's go back to my fact sheet and think about the kings, pharaohs, in this case. The most amazing one and popular king was Tutankhamun. Although he only lives for 9 years, he was crowned king when he was 9 and died when he was 18. Tutankhamun is buried in the Valley of the Kings. It's a valley where most of the kings of Egypt were buried, but a lot of the kings did get their own tombs. Some of them even pretended to be men, like Hatshepsut. An easy way to remember that name is Hatshepsut. It's very, very funny. Hatshepsut. Try it. You can tell your friends about it. It's very good to remember. Now, there was another queen called Cleopatra. She was the last one of all the kings and queens in Egypt historical era. Now, Tutankhamun had a big golden mask which was so amazing you should search it online. And if you go to Egypt, you should go to the Egyptian Museum, the old one and the new one, if the old one is still even open. The new one has got so many amazing statues and mummies. Now, you might be wondering, what's a mummy? I'll tell you, but first I want to tell you about all the gods. There are a lot of gods, over 2,000, that the Egyptians believed in. I'll tell you a few of my favourite. My particular favourite is, I can't remember his name now. Give me a moment to remember him. Now, I'll tell you about another one. Bastet, the queen of cats, the god of cats, but in the gods they would have been called the queen of cats. She was the queen that protected all the cats of Egypt. She was a very, very special god. There's another god called Ra. He's the god of the sun. Now, there's another god that covers the world like a dome. Imagine if you were standing here and then a big glass bowl was put over you. That's what it would have been like. She covered it and had 2 daughters. One was the ground and one holded up the sky. I can't remember their names though. There's so many. Now, the one that I couldn't remember, which is my favourite, is Anubis. He's the god of the dead. And you might be wondering, why would someone's favourite god be the god of the dead? Well, I'll explain you. He's a jackal. He's very, very big. No, he's not big. Very, very, very historical. Now, I'm going to tell you the mummification process. I remember it by mind. I'm so good at it. First, they cut a slit. First they clean the body to make sure it's all clean. So the surface and, if you're having a shower. Then they open a slit in the left side of the body and take all the interior organs out, except the heart. They leave it in for the afterlife. I'll explain you that later. Then, with a hook, they stick it up the nose and they pull the brain out. It must be really, really disgusting. Then, they put salts all over the body to preserve it and make sure it's all ready for the afterlife. Then, when they're wrapping the body, they wrap it very carefully and wrap each finger up so neatly. While they're wrapping, they put little ornaments in the wrapping for good luck, like a little scarab or a little antler. No, not an antler. I can't remember that name. I'll draw it for you. 1 second. Nearly done. It's here. That's what one of the little ornaments would have looked like, that they would stick in, so it would be very protected for the afterlife. Then they would put it in a sarcophagus, which was decorated really nicely. Sometimes the sarcophaguses would go in one sarcophagus, and then another one, and another one. Some people call them coffins, just to make it easier. Then, in the afterlife, they would take out the heart and measure it with a feather. If it was lighter than the feather, he would be going to the afterlife like heaven. But if it was heavier, it meant that he or she was a bad person. So it would go in a pond with this very, very big animal, which had a crocodile's head, a lion's body, and a hippopotamus's legs. I think that's the order. You might want to look it up. I'm not very good at remembering that one. She was dangerous, and they would put it in, and she would eat the body up, like if they were going to the bad heaven. Now, I want to tell you about hieroglyphics. Hieroglyphics was the alphabet. They used little cute figures, and some of them were even a bit hard to draw. Yes, so you could look up hieroglyphics. Papyrus is a different thing that I want to tell you about. And try and write your name. I've done it many times before, and my name is Victoria. That's 8 letters. Anyway, papyrus was what they used as paper. Paper was very, very difficult to make in Egyptian times. They would have to cut down a tree, soak the tree, cut it into small slats, then join it all together. It was very complicated. Now, a few left facts that I remember that are quite simple. When a cat died, they would shave the eyebrow off of one of the human, the owner. Isn't that extraordinary? As well, all the little organs that were taken out of the body from being mummified would go into little pots called canopic jars. They were all lidded by one of the gods, or the god of the organs. Now, that's probably all the facts I know. If you need more, just look on some more extra videos that I made from the things that I forgot. Don't forget to see the Egyptian hieroglyphics and the way that they made papyrus. Bye! See you next time! Have a good Egyptian trip.